6P isn't enough. The boys have you covered. Here's Jimmy Allen and John Schreiner.
The work week has come to an end. It's just overtime now here on 1620 The Zone. It is the After Hours Lounge brought to you by Bellevue University. Head over to bellevue.edu, register for classes, become a Bruin tonight. We got a great show lined up for you. Two great guests at 6:30. John Walker from the Omaha World Herald at 7:30. Brian Munson from Husker Online to discuss all things Husker football. We're going to catch up with John Walker on some things going on with Creighton basketball and a lot more. Also, we're going to finish up the quotes, the best quotes from each coach at Big Ten Media Days that we didn't get to yesterday. Fox Sports has released their 10 coaches with the most to prove this year. Spoiler alert, Matt Rhule is on the list. Where does he end up? We'll let you know. We'll also buy or sell on several different topics, including Shedeur Sanders. Should he be mad at the Cleveland Browns? We'll debate. And it is a Friday, so we're going to discuss what we're watching on TV. 402-951-1620 is where you can get a hold of the show. You can also follow us on Twitter at After Hours 1620. Three of the biggest names in the Big Ten spoke yesterday, and Dan Lanning, James Franklin, and Lincoln Riley. And Dan Lanning says they're doubling down on last year. The direct quote is, since we're in Vegas, it seems right, and the time to say it. Our theme for this season is double down. We've done an unbelievable job building this team over time. You look at our success You look at our success season to season, and as this team has grown, the process works. We're close, and we've been able to accomplish a lot. So that's really what's going to feed our program this offseason. It will feed us into fall camp, believing the process that we have. This is a guy that won the Big Ten in his first year in it, was the number one overall national seed, and he's saying we're close. Now, that's just where the situation lies in Eugene, Oregon, is despite there being 0 in the trophy case, kind of feels like it's national championship bust for the Oregon program every year now.
Well, they're in that conversation every year. I mean, they just have to break through and win one. I mean, you could say the same thing about James Franklin at Penn State.
Yeah.
They're kind of in the same boat. It's like you've won at a level that
I think
indicates that you are an elite program. You are among the best.
Because Dan Lanning has won a Big Ten championship.
Sure.
James Franklin has not. So I don't think it's the same conversation.
Right. And look, conference championships are nice, but the ultimate prize is the national title. That's what gets your legacy cemented.
Yeah.
And for both of those guys, I think this year, and obviously only one of them could win it, but it's sort of like they've been consistently good. They've been on the doorstep. They've gotten right there a bunch of times. And the last thing to do is kick open the door and grab a hold of that trophy at the end of the season. That's all that's left. They've accomplished basically everything else. Now, like you said, James Franklin hasn't won the Big Ten yet. They could certainly do that this year. But how it goes in the playoffs is what legacies are made of. That's just the nature of the game.
I guess that asks the question, is it fair in a year where Dan Lanning is replacing so much? He's replacing his starting quarterback. They're replacing 6 of the starting 11 defensive players from a year ago. Is it fair for him coming back after all that success and losing that level of productivity to say it's national, like in your opinion? Because obviously for him, he's the head coach. It should be national championship or bust in his own mind. For you personally, do you think that's a fair perspective from maybe the Oregon fan base or the Big Ten fan base as a whole to say, listen, Oregon's got to win a national championship this year. It's a disappointment.
Well, I mean, I think Oregon, here's the parallel that I can point to that a lot of Nebraska fans can understand because a lot of them have experienced it. Imagine what it felt like going into the 1994 college football season.
Yeah.
Nebraska had done everything possible. They had won at a level that was like hardly anyone else was winning at that level. They just hadn't won the final game. The difference is Nebraska had basically everybody back from the 93 team.
Right.
But that's kind of where I see Oregon at this point. You could maybe say where Oregon's at right now was like Nebraska 92, right? Where like they had been a really successful program, but we're among the elite in programs in the country, but we're still a couple of years away from having that kind of roster to win the national title. Now, I think Oregon probably had the roster to win a national title last year. They could have done
the number 1 overall seed, yeah.
But they failed in the playoffs. So I think from a fan base perspective, having that national title or bust expectation sets you up for disappointment because there's only one team that's going to get it every year. And the odds that your team is the one that gets it, like, it doesn't matter what team you cheer for, the odds are small. That's why when you look at like the FPI, the team with the highest odds of winning the national championship is like 26% or something like that.
And that's usually
every
very
year.
high end. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's like, wow, that team has a great chance to win.
Think about it. The team that ended up winning the national championship last year had 2 losses. So it makes sense. And I wonder for Oregon fans how much that aspect of it is the team that we're able to beat in a last-second thriller on our own field absolutely blew the doors off of us and went on to win the national championship in a neutral site. Because I can't imagine that's a great feeling. Because if you're able to, in Oxford Stadium, to win 32-31, and I don't want to say in large part, but definitely due to their quarterback making a really dumb decision at the end of the game and accidentally running the clock out. Now, Ohio State still could have lost that game had he not done that. But then when you get another shot at them, they basically double you up and run you out when it matters the most. And that probably adds, I don't know if pressure is the right word, because you still went 13-0, won the Big Ten last year, but maybe doesn't sit right with the people that have the highest expectations in Eugene as well. Because that game against Ohio State, the playoff, wasn't even close.
Yeah, and like we can talk about, is it actually beneficial to have the bye week? I mean, we see the teams back when we had 2 byes in the NFL, one of the top 2 seeds would usually lose in that divisional round.
Well, I wonder how much it is the bye week versus when we saw them, there was a home field advantage versus a neutral site too.
Yeah, you can point to that
definitely plays a part as well. I want to touch on the 93-92 stuff for a second, because right now there's a mad dash to go get old players and be old and get the experienced guy to come in, and that way you don't have to worry about the young mistakes and the hiccups and things like that. I'm going to be really interested, because I feel like, especially with a guy like Cade Klubnik coming back this year, at the Ohio States, the Texases, the Oregons of the world that go out and spend a ton of money and have the highest paid roster, but do it through the transfer portal. And obviously, when you talk about a guy like Mekhi Hughes, who's going to make a huge impact for Oregon at running back this year, the success that happens in Eugene versus the success that happens in Clemson, South Carolina, and can both be successful and both end up in the national championship game? Yeah, that's clearly a possibility. But football is definitely a game of trends. So if a team like Clemson or a guy like Dabo Swinney who's willing to dig his heels in, because I think if everybody is being honest, they would rather do it that way. They would rather do it the way it's been done. You could develop players. You could probably pay them less. It's obviously a lot easier than everybody. If Dabo Swinney is able to be successful and they're able to do it his way without hitting the transfer portal, without paying guys a ton of money, and go on to either at least compete for a national championship, play for a national championship, to see if there's a shift in the pendulum to go back the other direction, that maybe if it can be sustained success, albeit in the ACC, do we start to see teams maybe take that approach?
Well, what's come to college football now is the debate that's been raging in the NFL for a long time is, what's the better way to build your roster, through the draft or free agency? Yeah. How do you want to do it? Because if you build it through recruiting high school players, you are theoretically going to spend significantly less money bringing in freshmen than you are bringing in junior transfers who have already established themselves. I mean, part of the reason those juniors are transferring is because they can make more money by transferring somewhere else, which is what free agency is all about in the NFL. Like, a guy is you get the hometown discount. We hear that all the time in the NFL. Is like a guy on his second contract staying with the same team usually makes less money than if he would go shop himself on the open market and create a bidding war.
Situation.
Yeah. So this is what's come to college football now. And like you say, it will be interesting to see how it plays out, because there will be different approaches. And I think probably the one that's going to be most successful is the blended approach.
Because it makes the most sense too, right?
Absolutely.
It's you fill where it's needed, but you have to recruit high school kids anyway.
Right.
So if you need that spot, it's kind of the way Matt Rule's done it. So that's the other reason it's intriguing.
And the other team that you could throw into this mix, like you have Oregon, who's kind of done some of both.
Yeah.
Clemson, who's basically said no transfers.
Yeah.
And then you have Ole Miss, who's got to come, they're almost their entire offensive starting lineup is transfers
Yeah.
who were not on the roster a year ago.
Yeah. So if Clemson's, let's call them the right, Ole Miss is the left, and then Oregon, Ohio State, Nebraska are kind of in that middle portion there. So it'll be interesting to see how it all shakes out. And obviously, this season's a small sample size. If Clemson wins a national championship this year, it's obviously not the only way to do it. But talking about traditions, Lincoln Riley was asked about the rivalry with Notre Dame, and he said, all these rivalries mean a great deal to me. They mean a great deal to anybody that cares about college football. Yes. Do I want to play the game? Hell yeah. I want to play the game. Absolutely. It's not one of the it's one of the reasons that I came here, but also my allegiance and my loyalty is not to Notre Dame and it's not to anybody else. I'm the head coach at USC and I'm going to back USC and I'm going to do everything possible that I can in my power to make sure USC is as good as it can be and not going to let anything stand in between that. So I'm very hopeful we can get to a point where it makes sense. So obviously this is the Scott Frost debate against Oklahoma. Lincoln Riley has been allegedly, I don't want to point any fingers here, but trying to get out of the USC Notre Dame rivalry and taking the Matt Rule approach of trying to play the easiest non-conference schedule as possible to get to the college football playoff. It feels like we're getting to the point with college football that the only thing that we're discussing is the money. And I've been
there for a while.
I agree, and I've been very adamant that it feels like college football for a while was trying to keep what was important to the fans. I'm willing to say that it's almost dead to that point. And I think a lot of it's because of the House settlement. Like they can't really worry about history and pageantry while they're worrying about paying a couple $1 billion to former athletes.
Yeah, I mean, it's a double-edged sword because you say, we have to make the most money with our TV contracts that we possibly can, and the way to make the most money with our TV contracts we possibly can is to get the most teams from our conference into the college football playoff. And to do that, we have to play the easiest non-conference schedule that we can because we got to win the most games in our conference. And that means we're going to have to kill some rivalry games. And which games get the most eyeballs on them?
The rivalry games. Look at Colorado, Nebraska as a point last year.
And what makes all the money for the TV contract?
Right. It's almost the horse and the cart discussion. Right?
That's what I'm saying.
Which one are you putting first?
It's a double-edged sword here. Like you have to be very careful with what you're cutting and what you're keeping, because if you cut too deep, you're going to hit bone and there's nothing left to cut.
Yeah. And it feels, I don't know what it is, but it feels like something big is about to happen. Like something's got to give one way or the other, whether it be a drop in TV viewership, whether it be a plateau in the ability to pay money from these television networks. And maybe what we've been talking about with Tony Petitti and not being able to deliver on possible playing games, maybe that moment, or maybe it's the big split between the SEC and the Big Ten away from everybody else. But it just feels like there's this bubble. And if you listen close enough, you can hear it expanding and it's very close to popping. Like it's got to at some point, right?
Well, the thing, like, I think if it pops, it's okay because you can create something new in the vacuum
from the ashes.
You can make a new thing if the bubble bursts. What you absolutely cannot have happen is for that bubble to just get a slow leak and it just starts to bleed and bleed and bleed until there's really nothing left.
Kind of feels like where we're starting to get to though, right? Like we've already killed one conference that was a Power 5 conference. We've already taken away Nebraska versus Oklahoma, Nebraska versus Colorado, and we've taken Colorado and moved them from the Big 12 and back to from the Big 12 to the Pac-12, back to the Big 12. Missouri is in the SEC. Oklahoma and Texas no longer play. Well, I guess Texas now plays again; they're in-state rival, but Oklahoma does not. There's just it just feels like that bleeding is already happening. Like what you're just describing, I feel like conference realignment is that, and you got to find a way to fix that,
right? And the best case is for them to get out in front of it and do something prior to the catastrophe.
Yeah.
And
the artery has been severed. How do we fix it?
Yeah. This is a watershed season for college football. And like, I'm not one for big proclamations. I try not to be hyperbolic.
Here we go.
This feels like a watershed season for college football.
I think it's very important for a couple of reasons.
We're already talking about playoff expansion.
And there's no definition to it
the
yet.
Two major powers are at each other's throats about how the expansion should go.
And creating acronyms for each
other. There's all this talk about where's all the money going to come from to pay out these settlements, and the NCAA is constantly getting sued. And it like we're reaching the peak of the mountain, and you can either go down one side or the other.
Something's got to give eventually.
This feels like we're at a moment right now. Like this is an inflection point in the sport. I can just feel it.
Hey, you know what? And there's 10 coaches that Fox thinks has the most pressure on them. We're going to tell you exactly who those 10 coaches are that have the most to prove this season. We come back. If you missed the opening segment tonight, check it out at on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. Under the After Hours tab is brought to you by Allo Fiber. Have you heard? You can hear it here first if you haven't. Allo has teamed up with DirecTV and launched Allo Mobile as well. This product combination means you can get internet that you can count on, a fast all-fiber network right up to your house, streaming TV with DirecTV, and you can watch it anywhere nationwide on your mobile coverage that you get courtesy of AlloFiber.com as well. This is a real service that comes with real savings, and you won't want to miss it. All the way up until Labor Day, you can switch, stack, and save at AlloFiber.com/stack. Get out of the Stone Age. Get a fiber internet network. Get a mobile service you can rely on, and get DirecTV today. Check out AlloFiber.com/stack to sign up tonight. Which 10 coaches have the most to prove in 2025? We tell you the other side of the break. 1620 The Zone.
Hey everybody, John here for the fine folks over at Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. 78th and Dodge is where the storefront is located. You can stop in there today and get yourself exactly what I'm wearing. Yep, I got my Johnny O polo on right now in studio, wearing it on my body. Came out of the wash. I've told you before, it's number 1 on the depth chart. I put it on when it comes out of the dryer. And you know why? Because it comes out of the dryer and it hasn't shrunk or stretched. It doesn't fit me funny. It's not boxy. It fits right. It stretches. It feels great. It wicks the sweat away when I'm out on the golf course. And it's got a little Creighton logo embroidered right there on the chest. You want something like that? Stop into Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear at 78th and Dodge. Get yourself into some Johnny O gear today. Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear, dressing Omaha for over 50 years.
Your Omaha area forecast presented by Funplex Water Park and Rides from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
We may see some light rainfall move into the Omaha metropolitan area here before 9 p.m. Thereafter, a low chance of rainfall overnight with temperatures dropping into the lower 70s outside. Maybe some patchy fog, especially in eastern Nebraska for your Saturday morning, but we see a lot of sunshine in the afternoon and temperatures into the upper 80s. I'm meteorologist Luke Vickery, KETV Newswatch 7.
Breaking here at the news desk, when you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, you can lock in your price for 2 years. Sources are confirming that when you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, your monthly price drops and you're locked in for 2 years. That's fiber fast internet, premium streaming TV, and reliable nationwide mobile coverage. And this just in, you must switch by Labor Day to secure that locked-in pricing for 2 years. Switch, stack, and save at allofiber.com/stack.
This summer, skip the backyard hassle and let Pepper Jacks do the grilling for you. We're talking hot off the grill flavor. Philly sandwiches, rice bowls, nachos, and more made fresh and bitered up just how you like it. Whether you're fueling up after the game or grabbing a bite before you hit the pool, we got your summer craving covered. Dine in, carry out, or hit up the Pepper Jacks app. No flames at home? No problem. We're grilling all summer long. Pepper Jacks, where flavor takes the field.
Pepper Jacks Grill. When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
Life is unpredictable, with seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner. You can't predict the future. So when life happens, go with a trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today. Why waste happy hour at 3 when you can get late night happy hour at Goose's? From 8 to 10, stop in for $1 off draft beers and $1 off all appetizers. Stop by our location in historic downtown Papillion, where there's always something going on. Music bingo or the 25 wing challenge, where you eat 25 wings in 10 minutes and they're free. Ditch the same old happy hour for the late night experience at Goose's Bar and Grill, 129 North Washington in Papillion, where there's always something going on.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
IBEW Local 22 is hiring. Join a dynamic team offering opportunities in all classifications, low voltage, residential, and commercial. Whether you're an experienced journeyman or have no experience, they'll train you. Enjoy great pay, fully funded medical benefits, and a solid retirement plan. IBEW Local 22 is your gateway to a rewarding career in Omaha. Don't miss the chance to build your future. Call Mike at 402-810-0789. That's 402-810-0789.
Now back to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
Do you need a vent? You want a hug? John Schreiner's having
Don't touch me.
It is the After Hours Lounge, brought to you by Bellevue University, where you can always give us a hug virtually by punching in for the night shift. Don't forget to leave us a comment on YouTube, as Captain J-Man and the boys have showed up to work tonight. We appreciate you fellas for joining us tonight. Never forget Tommy Frazier's name spelled with an I-E. All great people spell their name with an I-E at the end of it, by the way. Fox Sports has put out their top 10, not too early, coaches that have the most to prove this fall. And we're going to play a game here to see how many times I can trigger John Schreiner throughout this entire segment. But the list goes as follows. One is James Franklin, followed by Lincoln Riley, Brent Venables, Mario Cristobal. Matt Rule comes in at 5, ahead of Luke Fickell at 6, Mike Norvell at 7, Brian Kelly at 8, Deion Sanders at 9, and Kalen DeBoer at 10. Where Dan gets a notification on his phone that reads out loud. I disagree with the vast majority of this list. I can agree that James Franklin probably has the most to prove, just because, and situations matter, right? He's got the most horses in the stable this season, and he hasn't gotten over the hump. So, okay, I'll hear that. Brent Venables is coaching for his job. You could put him in at number 2 here. The fact that Luke Fickell, who could probably get fired halfway through this season, is not at 3, and I know this isn't a hot seat. This is the most to prove. And it could be just as simple as you don't think Luke Fickell has anything to prove. You just think he's a bad football coach, which, okay, you could get me there if you absolutely want to. But
he's got to prove that he can win games at Wisconsin.
I think he's got to prove he can win games in the Big Ten specifically. But Matt Rule at 5 is really interesting to me because he's one game above 500 as a coach in Nebraska. And they just, like we talked about Penn State situation matters, right? Got out of the bowl game drought, got over the 500 hump, and you've basically achieved what you got hired to do here. Now, you got hired to turn the whole thing around. Now, I'm not saying Matt Rule's job's done and we should be happy with 6 wins by any stretch of the imagination. I just think he's got a little less to prove this year. Now, I caveat that with saying if he goes 5-7, we're having a completely different conversation here. But I also think it matters that it feels like this program is on an upward trajectory as well.
Yeah, I'm with you. I have some problems with this list as well because
Mike Norvell should be way higher than 7.
Way higher than 7. Yeah. You got to prove to me that 2 years ago wasn't a fluke.
Yeah. Well, and you got to prove last year wasn't too, right? So it's both of those things.
We've got to come to some consensus here on Mike Norvell. I think he's probably 2 on this list.
I agree. I have James Franklin 1, him 2, and I would put Luke Fickell 3. I might even put Lincoln Riley 4 because I agree with him being up there just because, again, situationally, it is not good vibes in LA right now. Unless you're Deshaun Foster.
Yeah. The most, like, it's an interesting phrase, the most to prove.
Yeah.
Like, how do you break that down? And I think there's a number of ways you can look at it, and all of them are probably valid. Like, are you looking at the coach who needs to, get over the hump, like we talked about with James Franklin? Or
you could argue from like a you have to prove it to me situation. You could argue that Lincoln Riley's number one because you came in and you took over for Bob Stoops, which was an already established program. Now, granted, felt like two completely different programs when you got the reins versus when Bob Stoops was there, but you were able to produce high-performing quarterbacks in the Big 12. Now, obviously, Caleb Williams won a Heisman Trophy at USC, but we kind of do this thing. We did it with Trevor Lawrence. We do it with quarterbacks. Once they get anointed, they get like Andrew Luck was untouchable because he got anointed the best quarterback since John Elway, essentially. And when we do that, it's kind of hard to get them off that. Like, there's got to be a horrible downfall for that to happen. And I'm not saying that's the only reason Caleb Williams won a Heisman Trophy. He was still absolutely fantastic as a quarterback at USC. But he folded in some pretty big moments, and that never really seemed to affect his aura. So with that being said, Lincoln Riley, you could still develop quarterbacks allegedly all the live long day. How many championships has that received for your respective school? And it's as many as Oregon's won total. That's still 0.
So I think there are 3 groups here. And group 1 are guys who've had success but haven't gotten over the hump. James Franklin's in that group. Lincoln Riley is in that group. And you could put Brian Kelly in that group a little bit.
I mean, he's played for national
championship. But I think he fits in a different group. And the second group here is coach who's made a move to a higher profile job.
Yep. Absolutely.
Brent Venables is in that group. Mm-hmm. Brian Kelly's in that group, and Kalen DeBoer's in that group.
Deion Sanders is in that group.
Deion Sanders, I think, is in a different category. This is like Luke Fickell's also in the higher profile.
Jackson State, Colorado. Same thing. I get where you're going here.
Yeah. But I think this is yes, it's a veiled shot at Colorado.
Yes.
It's the only thing I was thinking about. And then there's the guy who's like the year 3 bounce.
Yep.
Deion Sanders, Matt Rule, and Mario Cristobal.
They're all in the same class, according to Coach Prime.
So those are the 3 group, the way you break it. And they all fit into like a different definition of having something to prove.
Yeah, and it got reported that Colorado is going to make a statement. Coach Sanders is going to make a statement on Monday about his health and his possible return to the program. It kind of felt like there might be an announcement that he might be done.
This is what I was saying in my trash take the other night.
I know, and that's why I'm bringing it up here, because I think if you're one of our 4 Colorado fans that listen to this show, you should probably prepare yourself for that because it kind of feels like it's coming.
It certainly seems like it. And, man, I think Kalen DeBoer probably deserves to be a little higher than 10 for all the reasons I've been talking about, because he is going to be judged on the record, not of him, but of Nick Saban. Mm-hmm. And this is a very difficult place to be in, especially with the rabid Alabama fans and clamoring to get back to championship level. Like, he's got to prove to not the nation. I think nationally people have
he's got some cachet with the rest of the country.
Objective view, and they can say, like, look, he's a good coach. Like, he can get it done at Alabama.
Played for a national title before he went down.
But in Tuscaloosa, the opinion is like, what have you done for me lately, bud?
Yeah. And we're just in such a unique time in coaching, too, where you have a situation where the guys that were playing for the national championship 2 years ago were at a different school the following year.
Yeah.
And then the guy that won it the next year left for the NFL. So, it's such a unique time frame in coaching, and you only have 3 guys currently in active college football coaching that have won a national championship prior. So, like, where are we drawing the line of proving it at? Like, for Matt, like, that's the other interesting thing about this is, like, of these guys, like, what it feels like specifically for every one of them, proving it feels like something different.
Yeah, it absolutely does. And how you rank them, I think, depends on your perspective. I think if you're in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Kalen DeBoer has the most to prove of anyone in the country. And I don't.
Yeah, from a sense of they might get fired. Because, like, listen, if James Franklin goes 11-1 and they go 1 and done in the playoff, he's not getting fired.
No.
Right. Now,
James Franklin's not getting fired if they miss the playoff. He's not. He's not getting fired.
There's going to be some real sour grapes, though. I agree. It's going to be really uncomfortable in Beaver Stadium.
Yes, it is. But he's not getting fired.
Now, if Alabama misses the playoff this year, I don't know if Kalen DeBoer gets fired. I think there's discussion that you better get there next year or you're gone.
The candle under the candle under his seat gets lit.
Yeah, for sure.
So I just want to point out real quick for the James Franklin argument, and you know how out I have been on James Franklin in the past.
Yep.
Their most prolific head coach of all time, Joe Paterno.
People forget.
Won 2 national championships.
Correct.
The first one coming in 1982. You might remember this, Jimmy.
I wasn't alive, Dan. I'm not.
You might remember this, Jimmy, when Joe Paterno got hired in 1966.
Correct.
You were 12?
Yes.
It took him from 1966 to 1982
Different
to
era.
win a national championship. But I'm saying there is a rope there at Penn State that if you have good enough seasons, they will let you sort of out to water because they see what you're building.
In 1962, I agree with you. 2025, no, there's not.
Fair enough.
There's absolutely not.
Yeah.
And that's not unique to Penn State.
Things
anymore.
stay the same until they change.
Yeah, that's not unique to Penn State. I think that's everywhere in the country, essentially, if you're at a big boy job. I mean, look how quickly. Listen, I know how unique the situation is in Lincoln has been, but you fire 2 coaches that have won 9 games because not all 9 game seasons aren't created equally. And that you know who's learning that real quickly? Brian Kelly at LSU. And again, like I think LSU is going to make the playoff this year. I do. And if they do that,
interesting.
And if they do that and they go one and done, I don't think anything changes. And I think his seat is still just as hot because the expectation around that program is you better win a national championship here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because everybody else has done it.
Sure.
So I don't think he's got to win a national title this year for the seat to cool off, but I don't think just making the playoff is enough for LSU like it might be at Penn State.
So I just want to, as I do, take everything back to soccer. Just as a pushback to you, Dan.
Jose Mourinho.
Manchester United had the same manager, Sir Alex Ferguson, from 1986 to 2013.
Mm-hmm.
Since he retired, they've had 10 managers. 10.
Yes.
Everybody thought, well, you're the manager at Man United, you get there's some rope. You can get some rope, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't always work that way. Like I said, things stay the same until they change. And I think just the state of the game. And
hasn't Man United been like mismanaged like so poorly?
Oh yeah,
over the last
like 2
you're
telling
decades?
me that Penn State couldn't be mismanaged?
Yeah, you remember when you referenced Joe Paterno?
That is a whole different situation.
Talk to you about a guy named Jerry Sanders.
All I'm saying, I'm not.
Alex Ferguson was not.
I'm not trying to
covering
start
up
a
any
fight.
crimes.
Well, that we know of.
Yeah,
I mean that's fair. His rope was very long, and it.
But I mean, you can
get a lot of stuff done in London.
You can make that same reference to the program 45 minutes down the road, right? I mean, you had 2 coaches, essentially, for program history. For if you're talking about the golden years between Devaney and Osborne, look how many coaches there have been since then. Like, it's different, especially if there's a stretch of not winning put in there. We got to get to John Walker from the Omaha World Herald. If you missed our segment on coaches that have stuff to prove, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Pasta Amore. It's a staple in Rockbrook Village. They're open daily at 4:30. Live music, still a few reservations open left tonight in Rockbrook Village. Pasta made fresh every day and a staple of Omaha. Still going strong, gearing up for their 40th year in business. Discover their hand-picked selection of exceptional wines. If you need a date night idea, look no further than Pasta Amore is the spot for you tonight. Stop by Rockford Village. Stop in and tell them After Hours sent you. John Walker from the Omaha World Herald. We're talking college hoops and what's going on in his life here on 1620thezone.com.
Hey, everybody, it's John here for Bob at Williams Law. There are 2 places where people have something to prove: in the coaching profession and in a court of law. And if there's somebody who might have something to prove against you, you need good advice. Don't go get it from TikTok. Like, why would you do that? It's bad advice. Get it from someone who's still going to give it to you for nothing on your first visit, but is an actual legal professional and a great legal mind. His name is Bob Williams at Williams Law. He's going to sit you down for a no-obligation legal consultation. You don't have to sign any papers. You don't have to pay him any money. He just wants to get to know you, see if it's a fit. and see if you'd like to work together and get you ready for your day in court. Get your questions answered, set your mind at ease with some great legal advice from Bob at Williams Law. Check out williamslawllc.com.
The real game changer in college athletics, it's coaches. And at Bellevue University, there is an experienced team of coaches who know you both as an athlete and as a person. Plus, there are student coach advisors who are there to provide individualized academic support every step of the way as you progress towards your degree. At Bellevue University, you're not just another athlete. You belong. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
It's golf season, and Jerry Ryan is your one-stop shop to get out on the links this summer. With options from Johnny O, Roan, Peter Millar, and Mizzen and Main, you'll be the sharpest dressed guy in your foursome. Stop in and let John, Dan, Jake, Deanne, and Monir the Tailor get you ready for the golf outing circuit or your big wedding this summer.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
Is the Force strong with you? Find out this July with Project Solo. Find your favorite Star Wars cans of your favorite Coke products through July 31st. Stop by your local Hy-Vee and pick up 12 packs of Coke for just $3.99 when you purchase 4 between July 2nd through the 6th. Also pick up half-liter 6-packs with your favorite Star Wars characters for $3.99. 16-ounce Body Armor or 28-ounce Power Rate singles, just $1 all month long. Hy-Vee and Chesterman Coca-Cola, creating Jedi all over Nebraska.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
Heat flames are crashing all over the Midwest. Beat the heat with Controlled Comfort. If your AC is aging and you have concerns, Controlled Comfort is your one-stop shop for all your HVAC issues. Let Controlled Comfort's comfort specialists come out, diagnose your issue, resolve it, or replace that old AC unit with one that'll keep you cool in the months ahead. Head over to ControlledComfort.com today.
Controlled Comfort keeps it under control.
If you need to hire, it seems like the whole process can be exhausting. You search resumes, wait for the right candidates to apply, set up initial interviews. It's a lot of time and work. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates for your job the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Zip Intro is super easy to use. You simply pick a time, and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you can choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day. Best of all, you save time and energy.
Try Zip Intro for free right now at this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Zip Intro. Post jobs today, talk to qualified candidates tomorrow. Once again, go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Hi, I'm Cole Scharf with Scharf Painting. Choosing a painter isn't like picking a color swatch. It's about the trust and craftsmanship. Every space is unique. Family-owned and detail-driven. We paint everything. Homes, businesses, interiors, exteriors, and even decks and fences. Based in Omaha, we'll travel anywhere for your project. With Scharf Painting, it's more than paint, it's a relationship. We communicate, we follow through, and we take pride in providing excellence. Visit ScharfPainting.com for your next masterpiece.
Look sharp with Scharf.
Now back to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
6:41 on a Friday night edition of the After Hours Lounge, brought to you by Bellevue University. If you're looking for the ideal college experience this fall, head over to bellevue.edu and register for classes tonight. It's our weekly visit from John Walker with the Omaha World Herald, who now joins us on After Hours. John, good evening. How are you?
Hello. I am good. I'm on vacation next week. I'm not going anywhere, so I guess staycation is more appropriate. So I'm inching closer to that. So I'm fantastic. How are you guys?
Are you asking to take some PTO from our show? Is that what you're asking for here?
No.
Okay.
No.
So we've dove into the what does John Walker do when he's shopping? What's new in John Walker's world this week?
I went to the Tyler Childers concert last night.
Oh, good for you, man.
That was a blast. Shout out to my friend as well, but one of my girlfriend's longtime friends, Faith, who is from the Kansas City area. He had an extra ticket.
Nice.
And I exchanged that for a night on my couch. So we went to the concert last night. It was fantastic.
What was the best song?
Jersey Giant was good.
Okay. Because sometimes the best one on the radio or on your Spotify doesn't mean it's the best one in live performance.
Right.
Did he play Nose on the Grindstone?
Yep, that Nose on the Grindstone was good.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it was good. It was fantastic. It was good.
I think it's only appropriate that we ask for a grade, A through F.
A through F. I will give it a firm B.
Okay.
All right.
Because I will give it a firm B because you have to appreciate his music to attend one of his concerts. If you I went to Taylor Swift with my girlfriend when Taylor was in Kansas City, and even if you don't listen to Taylor Swift, you could appreciate the really impressive performance for 3 hours.
You could still shake it off.
And you can still shake it off. You can leave a blank space to give it whatever grade you want.
Nice.
So it's different, but I give it a really firm B.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, John, I'd write your name.
Well, that's loving. But the sad thing is, Jimmy, boys only want love if it's torture.
Fair enough.
Wow.
This is not where I thought this segment was going.
Don't say I didn't warn you, man.
Okay. So what's on the agenda for staycation then? If you've already got the concert in the books.
Yeah, a whole lot of nothing.
Good.
I'm gonna do literally nothing next week because, as you guys know, and we don't get to do that a lot.
We don't.
So I'm gonna do a whole lot of nothing because when I come back, we'll be in it, guys. Volleyball practice will have already started. I believe.
I was just about to ask. So what does football season look like for John Walker?
Yeah, I think it'll probably look a good amount as it did last year. Where I, am supplementing the World Herald Nebraska football coverage and obviously following Creighton volleyball closely as it embarks on the beginning of the Brian Rosen era.
You could just say I'm doing the crap that Chattel doesn't want to.
Yeah,
or Sam.
I think that's probably what it'll look like. The full-time beat will be Creighton volleyball and getting ready for basketball preseason, obviously. And then I'll probably be in Lincoln a day or two a week for an availability, and then helping out with some games.
I want to talk about the state of volleyball in Nebraska for a second.
Please.
Obviously, we're at this rare time where a year ago at this point we're talking about the well-established programs in both Omaha and in Lincoln, and now I don't know if uncertainty is the right word, but maybe unknown.
Sure.
With Danny taking the job and the changes at Creighton, but both those rosters still pretty stacked. How do you describe your feeling about both of those programs respectively heading into the season?
Intrigued. That's the first thing that comes to mind because it's going to be drastically different. DBK is not John Cook. Brian Rosen is not Kirsten Bernthal Booth. but they are DBK and they are Brian Rosen. So like they're going to bring their own flavor to the programs that have had the same flavor for the past couple of decades. We'll see how it starts, because obviously they're both going to be tested really early. That's detrimental to Creighton's NCAA tournament resume, because they're not going to see a lot of tough competition when they get into Big East play. That's nothing new. They create the non-con schedule the way they do for a reason. And in Nebraska, that's kind of the expectation as well, to play a really tough non-conference schedule that leads you right into a really, really, really tough league. So intrigue, it's not even the long-term effects. It's not what you can do in your recruiting efforts. I think one of the areas where Kirsten Bernthal Booth was so good, because as we know, guys, the fact of the matter is Creighton does not have the same resources as a Nebraska, as a Penn State, as a Wisconsin, right?
Right.
But they were still, a few points away from upsetting the eventual national champion on their home floor last year. And so one of the things that I'm interested to see is that Kirsten Bernthal Booth covered so much ground in terms of those resources with her in-game ability. What does Brian Rosen do when they play Penn State in the first match of the season? What does he do when Nebraska comes to the CHI Health Center this year? Those are the things that I'll have in mind, because those are the most intriguing things to me. I'll be watching the little things.
Do you have? Well, let's just do it then. Do you have a sense of where these teams could end up? Is Nebraska going to win the Big Ten? I think the expectation is for Creighton to win the Big East, especially with Ryan Tice from Marquette taking the job at Florida. So, I mean, the other power in the Big East may be down as well. I mean, what's your expectation for both programs?
Yeah, I think they're both NCAA tournament teams again. Like, that's the expectation, right?
Yeah.
And anything other than that is a bust, a failure. And that's not to put lofty expectations on them. No, guys, as you know, these are the expectations that those programs have set for themselves. Nebraska played for a national championship 2 years ago.
Yep.
I believe. Was in the Final Four this past season. And it's not like they just replaced John Cook with, someone off the street. No, this is a homegrown Husker who coached a pretty darn good program at Louisville. So that's the expectation. Like, we've gotten to the point where if Nebraska is not in the second weekend, it's like, oh, well, what was that? And it's kind of the same thing for Creighton, really, because again, a credit to Kirsten Bernthal Booth for what she's built it up to be. Like, they beat Texas last year. They pushed the eventual national championship to the brink on the road. So I think that's the expectation. I want to see both back in the second weekend at least. I think you mentioned uncertainty earlier. That's a perfect word for it. It really is, because we are, 5 weeks away from the season. Less than that. We're like 4 weeks away from the season. And there are a lot of questions on both sides. So who knows, guys?
We're much further away from the start of men's basketball, but that didn't stop you from writing about expectations this week. You also put out a poll asking Creighton fans what their expectations for the final stage of the Greg McDermott era is, and 53% of people said that they need to reach, or their expectations are for them to reach a Final Four. Is that your expectation as well?
Yeah, it is. It is. Because you have to, like, Creighton made it. The one thing that Creighton made crystal clear this offseason, from the administration to Greg McDermott and his staff, is that they are all in. And I think I tweeted that earlier in the offseason, and I just kept coming back to that. And so that's kind of what sparked the column that I put out this morning, because I understand Ryan Kalkbrenner's not here. Stephen Ashworth isn't here. Trey Alexander isn't here. Baylor Shireman's gone. I understand that. But Creighton approached this offseason with the resources and the urgency to fully maximize the end of the McDermott era. And so the expectations have to follow. It's really kind of as simple as that. I know I wrote 900 words on it, but at the end of the day, like, that's what it boils down to. Kentucky's not dumping all of these resources into Mark Pope's program to not make the NCAA tournament, to not compete for a Final Four. And the same goes at Creighton, where the resources are obviously a lot more strapped. If you're finding and allocating the resources necessary to bring in a top 15 transfer class, then the expectation is that transfer class delivers. And I think they will, especially when you combine the 6 newcomers, especially Josh Dix and Owen Freeman, when you combine them with the returners like Jackson McAndrew and Jason Green, Fedor Zugic, obviously. It has the makings to be a really special team. Now, how will it all come together? I'm not sure. So yeah, it's a credit to, much like I went with volleyball, I said it was a credit to DBK and DeBooth. Like, it's a credit to McDermott that he's built Creighton to what it is now. But like, at some point, to be the program that Creighton aspires to be, you have to take that next step. And I understand that they were obviously, a haunting whistle away from the Final Four a couple of years ago. Sorry to any Jays fans for rehashing old trauma here. But like, you don't get an asterisk on the Elite Eight appearance, right? So to take that next step, you need to be able to say, we went to a Final Four. So that's kind of the expectation in my mind. They're very capable of it. McDermott did not stick around just for the heck of it. Like, he said when they reintroduced Alan Huss in April that he has other things he wants to do in his life. He could coach for another 10 years if he really wanted to. What I think he turning 60, just turned 60.
Mac?
Yes. Am I off there?
Yeah, just turned 60 in November.
Right. So, like, he could coach another 10 years if he really wanted to. But he has other stuff he wants to do. And that's completely fine. But the fact of the matter is, he's not sticking around to coach a group that he doesn't believe in.
Right.
And so that's kind of the thing. It's like, okay, if Alan Huss is here and he didn't take a head coaching job elsewhere, and he took a temporary demotion, and if the resources and urgency were there to put together the best team, and if McDermott's sticking around, then seemingly everyone in the program, and I know that because we've been around them, everyone in the program believes that this group could be special. Nick Graves said that. Ty Davis said that. Josh Dix said that. And so that's the expectation, is to push for a Final Four. I think that's what Creighton should want. They've been one of the best teams in the Big East since they joined it. They're probably the best team in the Big East that has not won a national championship.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they've beaten the UConns, they've beaten the Villanovas, they've beaten the St. John's over the past couple of years. They've pushed national competition. So yeah, just maximizing what's left of the McDermott era. The pieces are seemingly there, and we'll see how they all come together here somewhat soon.
We're catching up with John Walker from the Omaha World Herald here on After Hours. John, we'll get you out of here on this. If Final Four is the expectation, and let's say they hit that mark, what percentage do you put on this being Greg McDermott's last year in Omaha? And if that isn't accomplished, what percentage do you put on this being Greg McDermott's last year in Omaha?
I mean, if let's start with the former. If they made the Final Four this year, you would have to ride off into the sunset.
I agree.
Right?
Yeah, I agree.
Like, imagine if Peyton Manning would have come back in 2017. Everyone would have gone, excuse me?
Right.
So, yeah, I think if Creighton makes the Final Four this year, that would be it. I really do. Because I don't know what else there would be left to do. That is quite literally like the only thing missing from Greg McDermott's resume. He's the winningest coach at Creighton. He has over 800 wins between here, Northern Iowa, and Iowa State. He's gone to 13 NCAA tournaments, has 4 regular season championships, another conference tournament title. So, yeah, he's been to the 2 Sweet 16s, an Elite 8. The only thing missing from Greg McDermott's resume is a Final Four. And the same goes for Creighton, obviously, that in a Big East tournament title.
Yeah.
So I think if they reach the Final Four, I think that would be it for Mac, because I simply don't know any better way that you could go out. If they don't, I think it would depend. Or I'll just say this. I'll say this definitively. If they don't make a Final Four, he'll be back next year. I really kind of feel firmly that it's like 100% either way.
That's John Walker from the Omaha World Herald. You can find all of his work at By John Walker on Twitter. And don't forget to subscribe to Omaha.com tonight. John, we appreciate it. We'll talk to you about something weird next week. We appreciate your time.
Thanks, guys.
That's John Walker. He's having a cruel summer, but knows ball all too well. If you missed this segment, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. Is brought to you by Controlled Comfort Heating and Air. It's hot outside. Don't let it be hot inside. If you're starting to see a little bit of if you're starting to see some humidity in your house, if your AC is not clicking on when it's supposed to, your thermostat may be acting up, head over to controlledcomfort.com, set up a maintenance appointment, have them come out, check out your thermostat, but also tell you what the longevity of your AC unit looks like as well. Check out controlledcomfort.com tonight. Dan Campen is going to tell us what's trending on social media when we come back. It might be Taylor Swift. 1620 The Zone.
Come to you, and I wanna feel it too.
Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for AX Plumbing. I was having this issue at my house where every time we ran water, whether it be the dishwasher, the wash machine, a shower, or just flushing the toilet, we started to see water building up in our basement. And we had a routine plumber come out and run a snake down, and we tried draining. We tried all the usual topics. None of them seemed to fix it. We had AX Plumbing come out and do their water jetting process. They ran a camera down our drain. They also water jetted all of the debris, and they found tree roots in our lines. Fixed all of that for us permanently. We have not had a backup since, and that was over 8 months ago. Maybe you need water jetting done at your house. Check out axpservice.com and set up that appointment tonight.
Are you ready for the game changer of the day? Bellevue University has a new state-of-the-art 72,000 square foot fieldhouse featuring premium courts, generous fan seating, top-tier locker rooms, dedicated athletic training, and a strength and conditioning space, plus a whole lot more. It's not just a venue, it's a home court advantage. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
Life is unpredictable, with seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner. You can't predict the future. So when life happens, go with a trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today.
Ready to make a positive impact in a young boy's life? Join Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Midlands and become a mentor where you are matched up with a boy in the greater Omaha area. Over 50 boys are waiting for someone like you to guide and inspire them. Visit mentoromaha.org and sign up to make a difference in a boy's life. Don't wait. Make a lasting impact today.
Are you watching the water slowly seep down the drain again? Go with a local solution. Go with trusted. AX Plumbing is here to help. With over 20 years of serving the metro area, AX Plumbing can do it all, from residential to commercial. They can even help with the new build installation service. Head over to axpservice.com today. There's financing available to qualified buyers and military discount too. Check out axpservice.com today. AX Plumbing. They'll leave your place cleaner than they found it. Are you watching the water slowly seep down the drain again? Go with a local solution. Go with trusted. AX Plumbing is here to help. With over 20 years of serving the metro area, AX Plumbing can do it all, from residential to commercial. They can even help with the new build installation service. Head over to axpservice.com today. There's financing available to qualified buyers and military discount too. Check out axpservice.com today. AX Plumbing. They'll leave your place cleaner than they found it.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/radio to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio. HIMS.com/RADIO.
You are listening to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
Putting a bow on the first hour of the After Hours Lounge, brought to you by Bellevue University. Head over to bellevue.edu, register for classes, replace your eardrums, and become a Bruin tonight. It is time for the social media soundbite where a fired up Dan Campanen has a treat for us.
Is it philosophical in nature, our social media soundbite, Dan?
Logan Mosley in the room because of how quickly the music just dropped there? Just kidding.
You're so mean.
Logan.
You got through the ad read
so
very
mean.
quickly, and I dropped it in an appropriate level and an
I had a
appropriate
scream
time.
over the music. You did. I kid. What do you got?
Also, Wigwam, what the heck are you doing? Just coming in super hot with that
it's
jam.
Friday night.
Yeah.
Turn
So
the music down in the jukebox.
this has nothing to do with anything about our off-air conversation, but I think the Texas High School Coaching Association would love to maybe reel in, or I should say not reel in, rein in this guy just a little bit. And please, can we get the full minute, 8 seconds of this? It is worth it, I promise.
Go ahead. Yeah, let's go ahead and cancel that because there's some problematic language in there. I guess we just want to address that for a second. What is this?
This is Dave Aranda at the Texas High School Coaches Association. This has been blowing up all day because there is no situation in which you need to bring up a scene from The Wolf of Wall Street to describe anything.
Can I take the logical approach here and tell you how I think how this happened?
It's the Mike Leach thing.
It's the
right?
Mike Leach thing. Yeah. Like, so it was making the rounds for like the 400th off season in a row that Mike Leach was considering putting a little person on the team and using him in short goal line situations where you just throw him over the line. Because Mike Leach is a legit crazy person. Was RIP. Dave Aranda, what are you doing? Like this, it's not quite there, but this is like up there with the Sean McDermott 9/11 off-season talk. Like just things that you just don't need to say, and why would you say? And you couldn't have come up with a better analogy in the moment issue.
Apparently not.
That was the social media soundbite. Feel free not to listen to it. But if you want to, you can at our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing. Does your company need help with its online presence? you want to entice your ideal client with an entire team managing your social media profile, you could do so at pixelfiremarketing.com. Head over to pixelfiremarketing.com and tell them After Hours sent you. We buy or sell on several different topics, including what Bill Connolly had to say today. 1620thezone.com.
It's all about the game and how you play it. It's all about control.
Hey, everybody. John Schreiner here for Paul Davis Restoration. Dark clouds over Omaha tonight. We've had a few raindrops. There's a threat of some more coming on the way. And are you ready if the worst happens at your house? If the dam breaks and your basement gets flooded? Well, you could be if you have this number saved in your phone. 402-553-0373. That's the number for Paul Davis Restoration. And they will be ready within 30 minutes to come to your house and help you if disaster strikes, whether that's water damage, smoke damage from a fire, if you've got mold concerns, whatever it may be. If your home needs restoration, Paul Davis can put it back to the way it was before any of the damage happened. Call that number, 402-553-0373, and get Paul Davis Restoration on your team.
Breaking here at the news desk. When you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, you can lock in your price for 2 years. Sources are confirming that when you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, your monthly price drops and you're locked in for 2 years. That's fiber fast internet, premium streaming TV, and reliable nationwide mobile coverage. And this just in, you must switch by Labor Day to secure that locked-in pricing for 2 years. Switch, stack, and save at allofiber.com/stack.
This summer, skip the backyard hassle and let Pepper Jacks do the grilling for you. We're talking hot off the grill flavor. Philly sandwiches, rice bowls, nachos, and more made fresh and bitered up just how you like it. Whether you're fueling up after the game or grabbing a bite before you hit the pool, we've got your summer craving covered. Dine in, carry out, or hit up the Pepper Jacks app. No flames at home? No problem. We're grilling all summer long. Pepper Jacks, where flavor takes the field.
Pepper Jacks Grill. Ready to make a positive impact in a young boy's life? Join Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Midlands and become a mentor where you are matched up with a boy in the greater Omaha area. Over 50 boys are waiting for someone like you to guide and inspire them. Visit mentoromaha.org and sign up to make a difference in a boy's life. Don't wait. Make a lasting impact today.
The real game changer in college athletics, it's coaches. And at Bellevue University, there is an experienced team of coaches who know you both as an athlete and as a person. Plus, there are student coach advisors who are there to provide individualized academic support every step of the way as you progress towards your degree. At Bellevue University, you're not just another athlete. You belong. We're for you. And for college sports, visit BUBruins.com.
It's golf season, and Jerry Ryan is your one-stop shop to get out on the links this summer. With options from Johnny O, Roan, Peter Millar, and Mizzen and Main, you'll be the sharpest dressed guy in your foursome. Stop in and let John, Dan, Jake, Deanne, and Monier the Tailor get you ready for the golf outing circuit or your big wedding this summer.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
Are you dreaming of your business dominating local Google searches, drawing in customers effortlessly? Look no further. I'm Courtney, the Google gal from Pixel Fire Marketing. Need assistance with your Google business profile? From verification to getting more reviews, fixing maps to tackling annoying Google calls? I've got you covered. Your profile sets you apart and ensures you're the top choice for local customers. Visit fixmygbp.com for our $297 special offer. Visit fixmygbp.com for more details.
Goose's Bar and Grill is the best kept secret in Papillion. A dynamite menu, live events, and great drink specials. 129 North Washington Street is the place to be all summer long. $3 tacos on Monday, the biggest tenderloins you can find on Tuesday, and celebrate Wing Wednesday with after hours with $1 wings on Wednesday. Goose's Bar and Grill, 129 North Washington in Papillion. Open till 10 Monday through Friday and 2 a.m. on the weekends. Goose's Bar and Grill, where there's always something going on.
When it comes to protecting your home, Jay Stennett Contracting takes pride in ensuring every detail is handled. Roofing, siding, gutters. When it comes to the exterior of your home, Jay Stennett Contracting has you covered. Water, wind, and hail can wreak havoc on the exterior of your home. If your home is damaged, let Jay Stennett Contracting come out for a no-obligation inspection. If repairs are needed, they will help you through every step of the process. When you need an honest assessment, Jay Stennett Contracting has you covered. JSCRestoration.com.
When you're in the mood for a little change of pace, tune into Omaha's home for hits that rock. 101.9 The Keg with rock hits from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. Plus, we're your home for all Creighton men's basketball games. 101.9 The Keg, hits that rock.
KOZ and Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone.
It's top of the second hour on 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Pyramid Contractors. You know, become number one in Omaha for over a decade by accident. Head over to pyramidroof.com. Get a free estimate for your windows, your roof, your gutters, your siding. They do it all. Check out pyramidroof.com. Tonight, Dan Campanen has buy or sell for us.
You're going to have to wait. I'm slowly fading down the music.
He got
as
you.
per your request.
He got you.
I didn't ask you to stop.
He
Cool
got
Little
you.
Gangsta's Paradise. You can keep it going.
I
would have
kept
the Valley
it
of
going.
the Shadow of Death if you want to.
Speaking of keeping it going,
Do you look at your life and realize nothing's left?
seems like there are a bunch of lists that just keep going all summer. Bill Connolly wrote today in his projection of the SEC that it is wide open. We've talked about how much the Big 12 is wide open. Buy or sell, the SEC is anyone's ball game as well.
You know, listen, I think Alabama and Georgia have kind of had this stranglehold on the conference for so long that it's kind of hard to see the forest through the trees of this. This feels like the most wide open the SEC has been in a very, very long time. I mean, Texas is standing at the top of the conference, obviously, but young quarterback, still got a lot to prove. Georgia is kind of this tweener right now. Kalen DeBoer is going to be on his revenge tour. Billy Napier seemed to find his quarterback at Florida. Tennessee was in the college football playoff a year ago, but kind
Everybody tells me that South Carolina's good.
and then Lenore Sellers in South Carolina and Shane Beamer. Yeah, absolutely. So I think this could be anybody's. Okay, we'll take a couple teams off. Mississippi State is not winning the conference.
Auburn. Do you believe in the lane train at Ole Miss?
But there's another conversation to be had, right? But it does kind of feel like this is maybe the most wide.
Kentucky's not winning it.
Stoops wants a word, but it just kind of feels like this is
Yeah.
probably a 7-8 team race right now.
We're used to it pretty much being a 2-horse race, and there are many more teams that could feasibly win the conference. So absolutely
Like,
buy.
Is anybody going to be surprised if Georgia and Texas are playing for the SEC
No.
championship? Absolutely not.
No.
But is there an absolute possibility we could be talking about Georgia versus Ole Miss or Texas versus Tennessee or some variation of the teams we listed? Sure, it's a possibility.
Yeah, there are a lot of teams in the SEC that actually have a chance this year, but it's still. When I read that Bill Connolly article, I was like,
I think I was about to say, when I read that bull crap.
when I read the Bill Connolly article, I was like, yeah, Bill.
I think there's legitimately 4 teams that could win it.
Name them.
It's still
Texas,
top and
Georgia,
bottom.
Alabama, Ole Miss.
Okay, I was wondering who the fourth one was. All right. Dan?
Fair enough. Reports are that Shedeur Sanders has not been getting any reps with the ones at Browns practice, and some practice, no reps at all. Buy or sell, Shedeur Sanders will be a Brown after preseason.
I buy. I think it's going to be one of those top-end older quarterbacks that ends up getting the cut, or they ask Shedeur to go down to the practice squad and restructure his contract to some degree. Could be Kenny Pickett just gets cut. Or not Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, but I don't know. He has dealt with it very well. With that being said, like the lack of ability to talk to the media and handle the pressure of not getting snaps and things like that, he hasn't gone how I think a lot of people assumed this would go if it didn't go well in Cleveland. So I think he'll be there. I think they want him to be too.
Yeah, to me, it looks. I think they're going to keep Flacco, Gabriel, and Sanders. That's what I think is going to happen here. Deshaun Watson's going to be put on some sort of, I don't know, administrative leave, ineligible to perform, physically unable to play football.
Have we
Like,
reached the point where the Browns have a private investigator just trailing him, hoping he does something
I
stupid?
I feel like he's going to be like their inactive reserve guy. I don't know. I think Kenny Pickett's the odd man out here.
Yeah, Kenny Pickett is definitely the odd man out.
You guys just hate people with small hands.
I hate people that do a fake slide.
Fair enough.
I just hate Kenny Pickett.
Wow, Dan, what did Kenny Pickett do to
How
you?
do you really feel, Dan?
Has the last name Pickett. It's just too easy. You cannot be a football player and be like, I'm going to be a quarterback with the last name Pickett.
I know a guy named Josh Pickett. Wasn't his biggest fan.
There you go.
The famous African-American cowboy, Bill Pickett.
Don't know who that is. I just don't know Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboy or actual Cowboy?
Actual, like rodeo cowboy.
Oh, okay. Moving on. Over 100 players from 16 of the NFL teams are facing fines and possible suspensions for allegedly selling their allotted tickets to the Super Bowl above face value in violation of league policy. Buy or sell players should be allowed to do what they want with their tickets.
Their tickets. Like, I get there's protocol, and maybe these seats aren't necessarily where the general public should be, and that could be the problem or whatever. But you're giving them their tickets. So I think you should be able to do whatever you want with it. But
Sell. This was actually going to
Did you not read
be
that?
part of my trash take, so I'm going to give you a brief overview. If you're getting allotted tickets, you shouldn't be able to sell them at all. You should be able to give them away, and that's it.
Well, okay, I would agree with that in the sentiment. Like, situations like here, occasionally here at NRG Media, we're allotted tickets to events, and I agree with that sentiment. But these are people that have put in the product on the field and essentially have earned them. So, like, you know what I mean? This is a weird situation.
I'll tell you why I
Have they earned
disagree.
those tickets, though?
In trash takes.
Okay. What'd you ask?
Have they really earned those tickets, though?
You ever played a 17-game football season?
You ever made it to a Super Bowl?
Yep.
Neither of these guys who sold their tickets.
You don't know.
So,
That's some man.
No. So, legitimately, they shouldn't be allowed to sell them. It should be a similar situation to what goes on here at NRG Media. When we get tickets to a concert, you can't go out and resell them because those tickets are actually marked and they can tell who has the tickets. And if you sell them, it's in violation actually of our policy, and I would assume it's the same thing for the NFL. And that's
policy.
I agree. I think in the volition they got these tickets and the way it's passed over to them, I don't think they should be able to sell these tickets, but I think the NFL should.
You think the rules should be
changed? Yes,
Yeah.
I don't agree with the way they went about selling them. I just don't think there should be a rule about them selling them. I guess is the point I'm trying to make.
Okay,
Dan,
my business is flourishing.
Congratulations!
As the proud owner of the Green Bay Packers, my company is now worth $432.6 million. NFL revenue sharing topped $400 million per team for the first time last year, and that number continues to grow. Buy or sell the NFL, and my checkbook can continue to grow at this rate.
Well, first of all,
side
Dan,
note, I don't actually get paid out by the Green Bay Packers.
allegedly. First of all, Dan, congratulations. This is big news for you personally, and I'm glad to hear that you're flourishing so well.
Secret millionaire Dan Campanen.
But
it's my new nickname.
It was kind of the
I need a loan.
It was kind of the conversation we were having.
My pockets are empty.
It's kind of the conversation we were having about the bubble with the college football stuff, right? Like,
yeah.
There's got to be a time where there's just not enough money anymore, or somebody becomes like population in the United States is going down allegedly as well. So like
the birth rate's going down, the population isn't.
Yeah,
Fix it,
correct.
Elon.
Sorry. Yeah, thank you. I was like, that didn't make sense, but it does. Got there. So anyway, we're caught up on all that. Anyway, like at some point, people got to stop being so fanatic about the National Football League, right? To some degree, where there's just not erratic growth all the time. Like, logically speaking,
What goes up must come down, is what
yes.
you're saying?
But like, it doesn't feel like that's happening anytime soon with this sport because football is king.
Yes, it absolutely can continue to grow at this rate. Not forever, but it can continue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. I buy.
Congratulations to you, Dave.
More and more people are becoming fans of football. I think especially when you cross the gender barrier, like more and more women are becoming fans of football.
That's a great point. Fantasy football helps a ton.
Fantasy football has helped a ton. So yeah, there's still room for growth. It won't grow forever, but yeah, it can continue at this rate for a while.
Yeah, it's always interesting to me when kind
You
of
get that
this. this specific conversation comes up, because it is like the NFL at some point is going to grow to a mass in America that it can only just stay at a sustaining level and it can't grow anymore within our country, which is always so funny because, they've tried to push NFL Europe. Yeah. They've got the games in Germany. They've got the games everywhere else,
Mexico City, Brazil.
Which is why they're doing those games, because they're like, well, eventually we're going to run out of Americans to watch our
markets.
So it's always, yes, I have a feeling that they can continue to grow. It's just not going to always be in America, but there's no way this slows down for at least 20,
lifetimes,
30, 40 years. I'll be dead before the NFL goes out of business. I have a feeling my grandkids.
I don't think we're talking about going out of business. I think we just mean like every year we're like, hey, profits in the NFL went up, like by an astronomical amount, where we might be like, hey, they went up 2 or 3%, not like $20 or $30 billion.
Yeah.
Dan, what's the last one?
The last one. The Athletic did an evaluation across sport about the key players, front offices, teams, franchise, and much more. Using those parameters, they ranked each college football team to see how much they are worth. The Texas Longhorns came in at a whopping $23 billion, and Georgia and Ohio State, $2.3 billion.
Yep.
And Georgia and Ohio State,
you typed that wrong, Dan,
came in at $1.9 billion. Nebraska comes in 17th with $930 million evaluation. Buy or sell? Does this check out?
Yeah, listen, I mean, $2.3 billion for Texas and Georgia seems about right. You're in a heavy populated states and a successful football program. I was a little surprised that Nebraska, just because the financial backing in the state wasn't somewhere in the top 15, top 10, just because they're one of the few, also one of the few athletic departments in the country that are operating in the black as well. But I mean, that's got to make you feel pretty good about where Nebraska is from an evaluation standpoint. Based
top
on
25.
Yeah, for sure. And Matt Rhule has talked about this. Obviously, this has been popular at Big Ten Media Days too, because of why it wasn't a good job for Scott Frost and where it is now in the trajectory of the program. Being in the 17 to 20 range feels pretty good and probably pretty accurate.
Yeah, I mean, I have no reason to doubt the methodology. I think it sounds about right. Like Texas has
oil money,
huge fan base and a huge state that is rabid for football. Like it only makes sense that they would be number one. And Nebraska is a traditional brand that has really good facilities, really good backing, a lot of TV eyeballs. They have fans across the country. Like, yeah, I think everything here makes total sense to me.
So what we're saying is bring the NHL to Omaha. Dan?
Yes, we are indeed. And yeah, I buy. It checks out pretty good, especially for a Nebraska team that does have a nationwide fan base and especially a state that is fully behind it and fully rabid for it. I would love to see the Athletic do this for like athletics as a whole at your university. Because I think if you factor in volleyball and basketball, both men's and women's, that you would have that number would grow into the billions.
Yeah, but I'm sure everybody else's would probably go up as well. But
we're better than Texas. That's what matters.
There you go.
I have a feeling we'd be better than Texas.
I don't
have
that feeling.
Nebraska bowling. Let's go.
Their men's basketball team probably in valuation beats Nebraska 6-1.
Probably more than that for the men's basketball program.
If only that stupid Kevin Durant didn't give them all that money.
Hey, if you missed our buy or sell tonight, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Controlled Comfort Heating and Air. Don't let the heat outside get inside. If your AC is not kicking on when it's supposed to, you probably have a problem with your thermostat. Have Controlled Comfort come out and fix your thermostat like they did for mine. They got my air conditioning running back up to normal in less than 20 minutes. They can probably solve your problem quicker than that. Head over to ControlledComfort.com, set up a maintenance appointment, have your HVAC looked at this summer. He has a plethora of knowledge. Brian Munson. We're going to talk to him next. Husker Online on 1620thezone.com.
Michael can't really trust nobody with all this jewelry on you. My roof look like a no-show.
Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for Bob Williams with Williams Law. If you or one of your loved ones is facing litigation, you have questions about your rights and the process of going to court and what that looks like, On the front end and the back end of things, we've got the solution for you. It's Williams Law. Bob with Williams Law is going to sit you down, give you a free, no obligation legal consultation to make sure you're a right fit for Williams Law. Make sure Williams Law is the right fit for you and your family as well. Head over to WilliamsLawLLC.com tonight. Work with Bob and his team and get that free, no obligation legal consultation tonight.
Your Omaha area forecast presented by Funplex Water Park and Rides from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
We may see some light rainfall move into the Omaha metropolitan area here before 9 p.m. Thereafter, a low chance of rainfall overnight with temperatures dropping into the lower 70s outside. Maybe some patchy fog, especially in eastern Nebraska for your Saturday morning, but we see a lot of sunshine in the afternoon and temperatures into the upper 80s. I'm meteorologist Luke Vickery, KETV Newswatch 7.
Breaking here at the news desk. When you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, you can lock in your price for 2 years. Sources are confirming that when you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, your monthly price drops and you're locked in for 2 years. That's fiber fast internet, premium streaming TV, and reliable nationwide mobile coverage. And this just in, you must switch by Labor Day to secure that locked-in pricing for 2 years. Switch, stack, and save at allofiber.com/stack.
This summer, skip the backyard hassle and let Pepper Jacks do the grilling for you. We're talking hot off the grill flavor. Philly sandwiches, rice bowls, nachos, and more made fresh and bitered up just how you like it. Whether you're fueling up after the game or grabbing a bite before you hit the pool, we got your summer craving covered. Dine in, carry out, or hit up the Pepper Jacks app. No flames at home? No problem. We're grilling all summer long. Pepper Jacks, where flavor takes the field.
Pepper Jacks Grill.
Are you ready for the game changer of the day? Bellevue University has a new state-of-the-art 72,000 square foot field house featuring premium courts, generous fan seating, top-tier locker rooms, dedicated athletic training, and a strength and conditioning space, plus a whole lot more. It's not just a venue, it's a home court advantage. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
It's golf season, and Jerry Ryan is your one-stop shop to get out on the links this summer. With options from Johnny O, Roan, Peter Millar, and Mizzen and Main, you'll be the sharpest dressed guy in your foursome. Stop in and let John, Dan, Jake, Deanne, and Monier the Tailor get you ready for the golf outing circuit or your big wedding this summer.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
Are you dreaming of your business dominating local Google searches, drawing in customers effortlessly? Look no further. I'm Courtney, the Google gal from Pixel Fire Marketing. Need assistance with your Google business profile? From verification to getting more reviews, fixing maps to tackling annoying Google calls? I've got you covered. Your profile sets you apart and ensures you're the top choice for local customers. Visit fixmygbp.com for our $297 special offer. Visit fixmygbp.com for more details.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
When it comes to protecting your home, Jay Stennett Contracting takes pride in ensuring every detail is handled. Roofing, siding, gutters. When it comes to the exterior of your home, Jay Stennett Contracting has you covered. Water, wind, and hail can wreak havoc on the exterior of your home. If your home is damaged, let Jay Stennett Contracting come out for a no-obligation inspection. If repairs are needed, they will help you through every step of the process. When you need an honest assessment, Jay Stennett Contracting has you covered. JSCRestoration.com.
You're listening to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
What you know about that? What you know about that? What you know about that? Hey, don't you know I got kicked out of 3 when I church out the church?
It's 7:30 on a Friday night here on 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Pyramid Contractors. Over a decade of being number one in Omaha doesn't happen by accident. Over at Pyramid Roof for your windows, your gutters, your siding, your roof. Get a free estimate on any of that. They do it all. Check out pyramidroof.com tonight. Brian Munson from Husker Online and On3 joins us now. Brian, just because we asked our other guest this question, what's your favorite Taylor Swift song?
Are you kidding me? What? Dude, I was just going to say my favorite T.I. tune was the one that you just brought me in.
Oh, okay.
That is my favorite T.I. tune. I was lipping the whole thing as you guys are bringing. I don't have a favorite. I don't have a favorite
Okay.
Taylor Swift
What's your
song.
favorite?
No,
What's your favorite Tyler Childers song?
That was the other discussion.
Oh, gosh, what the heck? What's the one with the? Oh, God, let's talk about the belt buckle. Golly, what the hell? I can't.
That's
think of the
Rodeo
name
by
of the
Garth
song.
Brooks.
No, it's
No. And it's driving me crazy right now that I cannot think of it because I was just in Nashville, and I'm sitting here thinking about which Feathered Indians.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yes, Feathered Indians. That's the tune I love, and I like Lady May. Don't get me wrong.
Lady May's great.
May is a great one, but I love Feathered Indians.
Yeah,
That's a heck of a tune.
All Yorin is probably my favorite.
Yeah, that's a good one. I tell you what, I'm pretty much on a Morgan Wallen kind of kick right now. I love the tune TN. The other one, I was just singing this one in. God, I can't remember what the name of this one is here. Hold on, Ty Myers, Thought It Was Love.
There you go.
Love that song too. So I'm on a big country kick right now, unless I'm lifting, and then it's Deftones. So
or T.I. apparently.
It's Deftones to country music. That there is no in between for me.
Hey, we obviously just wrapped up Big Ten Media Days, and kind of the big news out of Nebraska camp was Isaiah Mosey is moving to running back in some small stint, if not a major stint. What did you make of that news?
Well, I think that it's two things. Number one, I think Nebraska is still looking for kind of a first down back to put out there in the field, other than EJ. I think that's the biggest one. I think that they feel like, they got Ives, they got Booth. I think they got some guys that they can put out there and pound it a little bit more. But I think that they are still looking for another first down back kind of option. And I think that Mosey's put himself in that position because of number two. I think he's put on a lot of good weight since he's gotten to Lincoln. I think his body has developed. I think he's also that kind of guy that he's kind of he's multi-purpose. He's going to be a great asset and weapon for Nebraska out of the backfield as a receiver and catching the football and doing different things in space. And I think he's tough to kind of game plan for. I don't think he's your traditional kind of Big Ten back. So I think that makes it difficult for people to kind of say well, what are they planning to do with this guy? And I think he put the madman Holgorsen, they're calling the plays, and you find ways to creatively get the ball to Isaiah. And I think that's really what the big picture is that you can take this tremendous gifted athlete and a creative offensive mind and find different ways to get him the football.
Does it give you any concern for where Jamarian Parker may be right now?
I think I've had that concern since spring. Since he's been injured. I think the first thing that comes to mind with every recruit when people start talking about who are some of the commitments from last year's class that are going to take us, you could play in on the field. And every year it seems like we overshoot on the number of guys that typically can leave a mark or have some sort of production, that season. And I think a lot of it is because of just the physical nature of the conference. And I think that when you miss a very important part of the year, which is kind of getting your body ready through your winter, your winter lift and your springtime and, moving into summer, and you can't just kind of pick up there and kind of be ready. It's part of a year round kind of thing. I mean, you can you can kind of do the double dutch thing with the jump rope and try to make you jump back in, but it always helps to kind of be there at first because you've got things down, and I think that is a big sign that Nebraska maybe is not convinced or so convinced that Parker can be that guy, or at least it's to light a flame underneath him. The next question is, does he realize that? Does he realize that that's a challenge to him to go back out there and take away that spot? And I'm not sure about that either.
From one wide receiver or running back to the rest of them, I'll pose the question that we got in the open bar segment yesterday. If we assume that Dane Key and Isaiah Hunter and Ja'Cory Barney are sort of 1, 2, 3 in the wide receiver room, who would you put at 4, 5, 6?
4 and 5 and 6. So your first three were Barney,
Key, and Hunter.
And Hunter. It's got to be Mills.
That's what I said.
I would say Jaron Bonner.
That's what I said.
I think Bonner finds his way in there. Who's the sixth? Why am I missing somebody in my head? Well, here's a dark horse for a guy that could work his way into that situation. And this could be a freshman that maybe not a lot of people are talking about, Jeremiah Jones.
Yeah.
I think he's different, and I think that they will find different ways to get him the football. And when you get a guy like Mac Markwade now that seems to be healthy, and you got Harbor going over there that everybody thinks can have make a difference at the tight end position, I think then you start talking about Jones, finding a role for him at wide receiver. So maybe it's Jones kind of starting to crack in there at the number 6 spot. Well, and you've got golly, you guys caught me on a really bad night.
What about Quinn Clark?
That Quentin Clark. That's who I was just going to say. I think you got Clark, and he's another guy that's different looking. He's longer, and I think that I don't think you want just all the 5'11" and 6-footers in the room. I think you've got to have a 6'4", 6'5", 6'6" guy, and you've got to know then how to go out there and use those guys because it's a little bit different, right? So I think I would go that way.
And where do you put Demetrius Bell in the whole mix? Because when he came out of high school, he was kind of like the athletic freak who was still kind of raw, and they didn't exactly know what his position was going to be. And
right.
Has he found a home, do you think?
I think that he was finding a home up to his injury.
Yeah.
I think the part that you always find or have problems with is that whenever you slide over to being unavailable, via injury or whatever, it's difficult to go back and reestablish yourself kind of as that player, because what happens is that they kind of have to move on without you, and then they have to keep recruiting, and then they have guys, like Mills, like Mosey before the move, that essentially kind of steal that thunder, and Bell becomes kind of that forgotten guy on the outside, even though during that spring game he looked very impressive, up to the part where he got hurt. So I think Bell would be be possible for him to be that 6th guy or a guy that finds his way into the rotation potentially. But I just think that, given what happened with Jones all the way down to signing day, I think Nebraska understands, how talented of a player he is. And I don't think they're going to let him not see the field here and risk him leaving if they feel like he could be, kind of guy that's going to have a role for them for 3 or 4 years.
What does it say about Dylan Raiola if they come out and they list the 10 guys that are single-digit jersey guys, and he chooses to stick with number 15 if he's voted a top 10 captain/leader, single-digit guy on this team?
Selfless. I think he also. I think he also what he should know, and probably does, is that it's not going to take him wearing a single digit to realize that he's a leader on that football team, and that they need him to be a leader on that football team. I think maybe for that reason alone, you got kind of that I can never forget about the conversation I had with Sean Watson when I talked to him about this. But back in the day, they were looking for this kind of servient kind of attitude out of these quarterbacks. When I asked them, like, what are you looking for when you recruit a guy? They're looking for selflessness. They're looking for team over me kind of players. And I feel like quarterbacks have got to be that shining example. That's like the position where you've got to be that way, where it may not be one of those things that a lot of people like recognize, that when they decide to pass it up, and not be that single digit guy, and he chooses to be 15 instead of 9 or whatever. But it doesn't get overlooked by the team. It's definitely something that the team understands, and they all look up to him, and they know, as he goes, so does the team. So he's a leader. It isn't going to matter what number he wears on his jersey.
That's Brian Munson from Husker Online and On3. You can check out all of his work at Brian Munson _ on Twitter, or subscribe to HuskerOnline.com today. Munson, we appreciate it. We'll catch up with you next week. Enjoy your weekend. I'm
going to go brush up on my Taylor Swift songs really quick.
All right. We'll ask the same question next week then.
See ya.
That's Brian Munson. If you missed his segment tonight, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by AX Plumbing. Homer Residential, they could do it all. Check out AXPService.com for all your plumbing, water heater, gas piping, and backflow prevention issues. AX Plumbing is locally owned and operated. They'll leave your home or business cleaner than they found it. Check out AXP Service for more details.com tonight. We will be right back giving our trash takes tonight, wrapping up the show here on 1620thezone.com.
Just by the chain, you can tell a big kid do a stain. You know the name. Is that your chain? About 24 inches is how low I let it hang.
Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for Pasta Amore. I've been telling you for a while now that it is one of the best, if not the oldest restaurants in Omaha. It's going strong for over 40 years, open daily at 4:30. Live music tonight. Stop out, just a few reservations open out in Rockbrook Village. Pasta made fresh every single day and is a staple in Omaha, going strong, like I said, into their 40th year in business. That is incredible. You can discover their handmade selection of exceptional wines tonight as well. If you need a day-night idea, look no further than Rockbrook Village at Pasta Amore. Stop by tonight and grab dinner.
The real game changer in college athletics, it's coaches. And at Bellevue University, there is an experienced team of coaches who know you both as an athlete and as a person. Plus, there are student coach advisors who are there to provide individualized academic support every step of the way as you progress towards your degree. At Bellevue University, you're not just another athlete. You belong. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
Life is unpredictable, with seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner. You can't predict the future. So when life happens, go with a trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today.
Ready to make a positive impact in a young boy's life? Join Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Midlands and become a mentor where you are matched up with a boy in the greater Omaha area. Over 50 boys are waiting for someone like you to guide and inspire them. Visit mentoromaha.org and sign up to make a difference in a boy's life. Don't wait. Make a lasting impact today.
Heat waves are crashing all over the Midwest. Beat the heat with Controlled Comfort. If your AC is aging and you have concerns, Controlled Comfort is your one-stop shop for all your HVAC issues. Let Controlled Comfort's comfort specialists come out, diagnose your issue, resolve it, or replace that old AC unit with one that'll keep you cool in the months ahead. Head over to ControlledComfort.com today.
Controlled Comfort keeps it under control.
Why waste happy hour at 3 when you can get late night happy hour at Goose's? From 8 to 10, stop in for $1 off draft beers and $1 off all appetizers. Stop by our location in historic downtown Papillion, where there's always something going on. Music bingo or the 25 wing challenge, where you eat 25 wings in 10 minutes and they're free. Ditch the same old happy hour for the late night experience at Goose's Bar and Grill, 129 North Washington in Papillion, where there's always something going on.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Now back to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
Shut her down on a Friday night here at 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Pyramid Contractors. Head over to pyramidroof.com. Book a free estimate for your windows, your roof, your gutters, your siding. They could do it all, and you can get a free estimate just by heading over to pyramidroof.com. Tonight, it's time for our trash takes of the night. What we'll do here is all three of us will give you a closing take to close out the show, and we will put a poll up on Twitter. You'll vote for who had the best take. Whoever has the fewest votes will have the trashiest take of the evening. Now, we're not hitting Scott Frost dead horse poll numbers, but we're starting to get a lot more votes. So we appreciate everybody for checking in on the night shift and leaving us a vote on Twitter as well at After Hours.
Many people are calling him Scotty Dead Horse Frost.
Many are. I'm going to let you start us off because
All right.
you already gave us an insight to what your take is.
A little teaser. Yeah. So we talked about it a little bit in Buy or Sell. At least 100 players are facing a penalty over selling Super Bowl tickets. Now, famously, Super Bowl tickets sell for lots and lots,
thousands
and lots
of dollars
of money. Last year's Super Bowl ticket prices ranged from $2,588 to nearly $3,500 per ticket for the cheapest seats.
The cheapest one on the secondary market, by the way, was $5,800.
And many of them were over $10,000. Now, the reason I disagree with your take that players should be allowed to sell the tickets they are allotted is this. The players themselves are getting compensated pretty fairly.
That's a good point.
For playing the game. And the reason they get pretty fairly compensated for playing the game is because of the fans that, yes, watch the games on television, but also because of the fans who show up and sell out NFL stadiums on a weekly basis. To ask those fans to then pony up more money so that you, who are already making a salary that is commensurate with being in the top 1% of the country, seems egregious to me.
Fair enough.
You should not be in a profit-making scheme based on the ticket for the game that you're playing. It seems incredibly unfair to me. But the NFL's take on this was also completely tone deaf. The quote from the NFL representative said, the broader principle is that no one should profit personally from their NFL affiliation at the expense of our fans. And I would like to ask you, what would you call giving the apparel contract to Fanatics who make a superiorly inferior product and sell it at astronomical prices? Is that not profiting?
Can you read that quote again?
No one should profit personally from their NFL affiliation at the expense of our fans, which is an absolutely stupid thing to say.
Isn't that technically what every single NFL owner does by selling tickets in general?
That's why it's dumb,
Okay, I
Jimmy.
was just
That's
making-
why it's terrible.
Making sure I was understanding that correctly.
So I agree with the rule. I think that players should not be allowed to sell their tickets above face value. I don't even think they should be allowed to sell them at all.
Let me emphasize. I agree with that. I don't think they should be able to sell them above face value. But if they're selling them at face value, I don't necessarily have a problem.
I don't have as big a problem with that. But this was them giving them to ticket bundlers at an above face value price, so then they could jack up the price on the secondary market and charge the fans even more to get into the game. I think that's gross. I don't think they should be allowed to do it, but the NFL is equally stupid for saying what they said.
All right. John Schreiner, grab the shovel, put the NFL 6 feet under. I'm now going to give them their flowers. The NFL is listening to their fans, because if you're a subscriber to YouTube Premium, or if you have YouTube TV, there's not just one spot to get the NFL Sunday ticket anymore. And I would like to congratulate the NFL on doing what's best for the fans and understanding that there is a market outside of DirecTV, and have found in more places to give fans more opportunities to watch NFL Sunday tickets. So I would like to give them a round of applause for their efforts and listening to their fan base. So now that they're dead and have their flowers, Dan Campion, wrap up the show. Bring us home.
Put flowers on the casket that I put in the ground.
What do you have for us for your trash take?
Oh, okay.
That's the part of the show we're at. Welcome in.
You know what? You gotta forgive my surprise in general.
You act like you're working over there.
Because usually your trash takes have a long portion to them. I'm just extremely happy right now that Adam Sandler has made the movie Happy Gilmore 2. As a man who is struggling right now about whether I want to drive 3.5 hours out to Western Nebraska to play golf tomorrow, which, spoiler alert, I'm totally going to do it.
Nice.
I'm just so happy that Adam Sandler has decided to bring back the beloved character of Happy Gilmore to resurrect a movie that this is going to sound really sad to say, is like super near and dear to my heart, is like the movie that legitimately got me into playing golf, because I was like,
really?
This is hilarious. I saw it at like 6 years old, which is maybe a little too young to understand all the jokes. It is one of the few movies that I have ever bought and keep a digital copy of in my like iTunes library, because I love it that much. I watch it at least once every 3 months, but it made golf cool. It made golf funny. It made golf fun. And it made it so that you didn't have to think about golf in such a technical way right off the bat as like a young kid. You could just go out there and try to hit the ball as hard as you could and have a little bit of fun. And also, just side note, as an Adam Sandler fan, I'm really glad that he's sort of starting to recycle some of his old material and bring back his older characters and not try to write some of the more schlocky hockey movies that he has recently with Happy Madison Productions.
Happy learned how to putt. It's the best line in that entire movie, by the way.
It is indeed. Or just the fact that every time Shooter McGavin makes a putt, he goes, "Shooter!"
I've held my reservations about watching this movie because I love Happy Gilmore, and I don't want to ruin. I was just having a conversation with Cole Sharp, fine sponsor of 1620 The Zone, and painter of said studios. I don't know if I'm going to watch it because I just don't want it to ruin Happy Gilmore for me. Like,
you're afraid it's going to be Caddyshack 2?
I'm afraid it's going to be Anchorman 2, where I loved the movie and then I watched the second one. I was like, oh, that just kind of sucks. And now
Anchorman 2 just made me want to watch Anchorman again.
Exactly, because it was so bad. But here's the other thing. Bob Barker's not in this movie either.
Well, he can't be.
And that is an unfortunate circumstance.
And neither is Carl Weathers.
Yeah, and also, yeah, that's true.
That's the one that killed me when
probably a poor phrase, but go ahead.
Well, yeah, the fact that Carl Weathers isn't in it, Bob Barker isn't in it, and then what's his name? Mr. Handley.
Oh yeah,
I believe that's Mr. Gilmore's jacket.
Play it as a lies, Shooter. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's also Adam Sandler, so there's a chance that he hits another home run with it or a long drive. Guess we'll use the right puns here.
Yeah.
But man, I've talked to 3 people that have seen it. They've all said it's good, and I trust their opinions. I'm very cautious and not so optimistic about it. I hope it is good because listen, the first one was fantastic. Thoughts on Happy Gilmore?
Yeah, I'm going to see it. I mean, I have opinions of movies that don't need sequels, and those are strong opinions. Happy Gilmore can use a sequel. I think that's okay. It doesn't hold some
that's the other part
hallowed place in movie history for me.
But here's the thing: is they finished the story, right? Like the story got wrapped up at the end of it. There's no need.
So you make
for
a new
seconds.
story.
It's
because Hollywood is so good at doing that we should not have any doubts about this being the case, right?
It's one, and I kind of feel the same way that you do, Jimmy, a little bit, where I'm like cautiously optimistic about
if you
it.
Put the button on it. Just put the button on it and be happy about it.
But it's one of those where it's like
everybody loved Top Gun Maverick.
Enough time has passed.
I also didn't see that.
That there is something about like, what does Happy's life look like now? Can you kind of get the same, turnaround of it where it's like, oh, this is a problem that he has to resolve. How does he resolve it?
How many Masters
golf.
has he won?
That's the interesting thing is I don't know. Like,
yeah, we don't know the story.
What happened after he bought back Grandma's house?
Fair enough. Hey, if you missed any of the show tonight, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Allo Fiber. Allo has been empowering communities in Nebraska since 2003, and they've got a deal for you heading into Labor Day. Right before Labor Day, you could switch, stack, and save. Cut the old internet out of your house. Cut the old cable out of your house. Switch to Allo Fiber tonight. Have an all-fiber network right up to your home with DirecTV, and add your cell phone service to Allo as well with their new Allo Mobile. Check out allofiber.com/stack, switch, stack, and save tonight. For Dan Campen and John Schreiner, I've been Jimmy Allen. Happy National Cheese and Wine Day, everybody.
Whiskey and beef jerky.
Breaking here at the news desk. When you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, you can lock in your price for 2 years. Sources are confirming that when you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, your monthly price drops and you're locked in for 2 years. That's fiber fast internet, premium streaming TV, and reliable nationwide mobile coverage. And this just in, you must switch by Labor Day to secure that locked-in pricing for 2 years. Switch, stack, and save at allofiber.com/stack.
Are you ready for the game changer of the day? Bellevue University has a new state-of-the-art 72,000 square